What is up, gang? This is the X-Teen Featurette channel, and I'm Chris, and today I have a very exciting review video. I was sent for review the Vengeance Trails box set by Arrow Video USA, and this is a gorgeous set. I'm in love with it, and I'm going to be talking a little bit about the box itself, what's on this, and then I actually watched every one of these 4 movies and looked at the contents and stuff. So I'll be talking about that too. So first, the box is wrapped in a J card. So on the back, the J card has all the details about the movies and what's on the discs as far as special features. But whenever you take it off, there's the spine. The back is kind of like blank. There's, it's not like totally blank, but there's like some texture to it. That was kind of weird, kind of disappointing. Like the top's blank, the bottom's blank. We have the spine with all the names on it. And then there's the 4 movies. So in this we have Massacre Time, My Name is Pecos, Bandidos, and God Said to Cain, which is the order that I watched these. So my backstory is that the only one of these 4 movies that I saw previously was Massacre Time, and I was instantly in love with it. It was the first spaghetti western that I actually saw, and I had the DVD. It goes by another name, The Brute and the Beast. This has Franco Nero, the great George Hilton. It was directed by Lucio Fulci. It was his first western that he directed, and it was written by Fernando de Leo. So with some names like that, how could it be bad? It's absolutely amazing, and I just had to see it in high definition. So whenever you compare the DVD to this this Blu-ray that Arrow just put out, it's absolutely gorgeous. So that was, in and of itself, that was worth it for me. But it gets better because there's amazing special features on here. And actually, my favorite special feature of this set is on Massacre Time, because there is an interview with Franco Nero and George Hilton. Since George Hilton is no longer with us, they kind of used an archival interview with him and spliced it together with a 2020 interview with Franco Nero. So that was very cool to see. They're both great storytellers, but such an interesting and informative interview but on both of their parts. So definitely worth watching that. So whenever we open it up, a lot of people noted this. The 3 little thumbnails on the sides are the same on the first 3 movies. Whenever you flip them around, they do have the same artwork on the inside too. So very, the high quality Arrow box. And then taking a look, we have Massacre Time. So it's the artwork from Massacre Time. And then whenever we look at the inside, there's the alternate artwork. My Name is Pecos. Love how the artwork on the discs is uniform. The alternate artwork for that. Bandidos. There's the artwork on the disc. And then there is the alternate artwork. And then finally, And God Said to Cain. So here is the disc artwork. And then we have the alternate artwork on the reverse. I'm not going to flip any of mine around. I like the what's showing, and I like the font on the sides of those. So that's what I'm going to choose to display. It does come with a little a pretty cool poster. I'm not sure the dimensions of this, but I like the size of this. So on one side we have Massacre Time, and on the other side it is Bandidos. A very attractive poster. And then we have the fully stacked book here, and it's kind of weird because it's glossy. I don't like that, because glossy, the glossy finish like shows off like creases and stuff more. Luckily this doesn't have any yet, but yeah, I'm just very, I don't know, this stuff like that bothers me, but I guess it shouldn't. This is a very cool book. It has artwork, and of course it has essays. It talks in general about the spaghetti western genre, and then it goes into detail. There's little essays on each of the films, and then it talks a little bit about the restoration that Arrow did. there are some spoilers in this. So, you know, if you get the set, make sure that you watch the movies before reading the book. As for the quality, I haven't heard of anyone having issues with this set. I played it on my 4K player and I didn't have any issues. The video and audio were both great. The colors were vibrant. The sound was great. So yeah, no issues on my end. The only thing that I noticed was like the stupid thumbnail thing that everybody's pointing out, but I don't really care about that. So I'm going to do a short little quip on every single one of these movies, starting in the order that they're listed. So Massacre Time, my favorite, is up first. Massacre Time is a 1966 release. It is written by Fernando de Leo, directed by Lucio Fulci, starring the great Franco Nero and George Hilton. The bad guy in this is Nino Castronuovo, and he is, I think he typically plays like a good guy, so that was kind of, you know, interesting seeing him in a bad guy role. I am not an expert on Fulci in any means, but I know that this was the first Western that he directed. Previous to this, he directed a bunch of comedies, and after this, he directed a bunch of horror movies, which is really interesting because this, for a spaghetti Western, this is extremely, extremely violent. But there's also like comedic parts. Like, I found this humorous. I think you're supposed to, I don't know. I found it humorous, but I saw a lot of comedic elements in this. And you also see how it goes from this, how he transitions in his career from this to horror pretty easily, because this is pretty horrific as far as Westerns go. So in the theme of vengeance trails, all 4 of these are vengeance flicks, which a lot of Westerns are anyway. I am not going to say a lot about this because this is an amazing movie and I 100% think that everybody should watch this. So please check it out. You know, this set is worth it, but find it somehow and watch it, even if you don't have the set yet. So watch Massacre Time, aka The Brute and the Beast. It's about 2 brothers, Nero and Hilton, and Nino plays the bad guy, and basically he's the son of the, you know, like basically the boss that overtakes this town, and these 2 brothers are trying to take their town back. George Hilton plays this kind of like a bumbling alcoholic, but he is completely hilarious. Like, and you know what's interesting is one thing that I've noticed a lot, like, I don't know if it's like a theme in spaghetti westerns, but there's a scene towards the end before the climax of the movie where Franco Nero's character takes a very, very severe beating at the hands of this you know, boss guy's son, and he's like literally writhing around on the ground, like flailing around, being whipped with a whip. And you know, it's like the rest of this movie, it's pretty violent. So you know, after that he kind of blossoms. That was really impactful to me. It was like the first time that I saw that in one of these westerns, and it's almost like a rebirth that the character goes through. They go through like this extreme turmoil or like some sort of a physical beating, and then, you know, they just arise like more powerful than ever. So that was really cool. Like I said, I'm not going to say much about this movie because it was so impactful to me. I think that you just need to absolutely watch it yourself, and you will not regret it. I can't imagine anybody not liking this movie. It's fantastic. As for the special features on here, I mentioned the interview. I also listened to the audio commentary by authors and critics C. Courtney Joyner and Henry Park, which was awesome. It warrants a listen for sure. 2 Men Alone, a new documentary featuring the new video interview with actor Franco Nero, and an archival video interview with George Hilton, which was the one that I highly suggest. An Era of Violence, a new video interview with film historian Fabio Milelli, which I also watched. Very, very good. Italian Trailer Image Gallery. There you go. So all the special features on here are absolutely amazing. Amazing film. The next film this set is My Name is Pecos. This is a 1966 or 7 release, and it is starring Robert Woods. The director is Maurizio Lucidi. So the general plot is that Pecos is Mexican, even though Robert Woods is white, and we meet him whenever he wanders into this ranch, and some guy's like, "Oh, you need a gun?" And he like basically forces him to buy a gun, and he instantly, I think, well, he doesn't live to regret that decision. And it's like, we hear the first time Pecos saying the infamous, like, "My name is Pecos" line. It's a really impactful intro. We are introduced to the main character and, you know, the namesake of the film, and then it immediately goes into that melodic, like, storytelling song, the theme song of the movie. Pecos is a very stark man. He's very serious. There's one scene, however, where we see him in a cemetery and he is mourning a family. There's a family with the name Martinez on a tombstone. So, you know, we learn his name is Pecos Martinez, and we gather that his whole family is dead. We meet a very odd character who happens to be like the undertaker slash pastor named Morton. He rides a black burro named Lucifer, and he, you know, absolutely an amazing character. Very, very fun, creates like some element of chaos. This is a very, very limited cast. There's a couple of shopkeeps, but other than that, everyone that I mentioned is pretty much it. It's a very, you know, it takes place in a western town, but it's like, where is everyone? There's not many people, so like there's not many kills because there's not many people to kill. There's a couple, like, you know, gang members, like posse members, so they we see a couple of them get killed just to really piss off Cain, but that's pretty much it. Pecos helps out some people, so we get the inkling that he's not like a totally bad guy, and you know, he really is just out for vengeance. I found this really enjoyable. It was like super easy to follow, very easy story, limited people, so it's not like, you know, one of those movies where there's tons of people to keep track of. And it's really cool seeing a Mexican character in the spotlight, because, you know, typically they were not the stars of Western movies. What I found was really odd is that you can obviously see Robert Wood's eyes are like taped up to, like, and he said in the commentary, there's a commentary with him, and he said that his wife like absolutely hated, like they taped and glued his eyes up to like make him look Latino, and it's just so weird. Like, I guess he said he was like naturally tan from being outside a lot, but I guess they darkened his skin and changed the appearance of his eyes to give him a more Mexican look, so that was really odd. So, you know, it's cool to see a Mexican hero, but then at the same time it's like, he's not really Mexican, but, you know. There was a scene in this where Pecos was also beat. It reminded me a lot of Massacre Time, where he took a very severe beating, and then, you know, he kind of triumphed in the end. So as far as the special features on here, I mentioned the new audio commentary by actor Robert Woods and author and critic C. Courtney Joyner, who was the same guy that was on the Massacre Time commentary. So very informed dude, a lot of great information. Then there is A Giant in the West, a new video interview with Luigi Montefiore, George Eastman. So that was really cool. And then there is Indecent Proposal, a new video interview with actress Lucia Modugno. I don't know. I didn't listen to it. And then Pecos Kills, a new documentary featuring a new video interview with film historian Fabio Milelli, the same guy from the first one, and an archival video interview with cinematographer Franco Villa. And then trailer and image gallery, but Fabio Milelli also a lot of great information on his featurettes, so check those out. Very much enjoyed this film. The third film in the set is Bandidos. This is actually the directorial debut of Massimo Dallamano, who is the cinematographer for the first two installments of Sergio Leone's Dollars trilogy, which is amazing, and, you know, that came out in the mid-60s, so all of these films are, I think, pretty inspired by the Dollars trilogy, so that is, you know, really cool, and I very much enjoyed this one. It has Enrico Maria Salerno plays Richard Martin, who is like this really top marksman. And then we have Valentino Valentini, who plays Billy Cain, and Billy Cain is the bad guy. So, and there's a really cool character reveal in this, so I will not spoil that, so I'm not going to say much about it. But basically, this is a 1967 release. Another thing, the director, Massimo Dallamano, went on to direct What Have You Done to So Long, the Giallo. So that is a great movie, and really enjoyed this too. So pretty cool. The first thing I noted about this movie was there are so many kills. Like, I didn't even attempt to do a kill count because there was just, it was an astounding amount. And it's the type of kills that's just like one shot and then they instantly fall dead. So that was interesting. There's not too many people. There was one dude that got shot and he kind of took like a minute to die. And that was really interesting. He was trying to take a dancing girl with him, like, you know, take her with him, like, into the afterlife. He told the other girls, oh, don't worry, you'll get your turn. Like, you're all gonna die eventually. And I'm like, well, that's pretty profound. Yeah, that's basically, if you're into shootouts, this is for you. But, okay, so it opens with a train. And on the train, there is, like, a huge shootout. And it's not even, like, a shootout. It's, like, a massacre. So, Richard Martin, you know, the gun guru, like, he's the only person that survives aside from the gang doing the killing. And the bad guy, Billy Cain, shoots both of his hands, I guess, to like maim him so that he's no longer able to shoot. It takes away his one, you know, advantage. So it's like, why didn't Billy Cain kill him? So we learn that, and like I said, it's exposed, but Richard Martin is trying to exact revenge for him taking his hands. He's trying to get back at Billy Cain. So he is trying to find a student to train gunslinging, and he wants to train this person so that they can kill Billy Cain. So during his little like roadside shooting show, his student gets gunned down, so he needs a new one. So this escaped convict comes up and says like, oh, you know, it's a shame about him. And he basically takes his place. He starts training this guy, not knowing who he is. And then, you know, he takes on the stage name Ricky Shots. So that's the name in his like little stage like performance of shooting. It's Ricky Shots. So we have Richard Martin, Ricky Shots, and they're both trying to get Billy Cain, but Ricky Shots doesn't know that yet. So Ricky's trying to get information. He's trying to like do his own thing. And he's learning from Richard Martin. It was very cool, a lot of development, but oh my gosh, so many kills. I think my favorite scene in this movie was when there was about to be a shootout in a saloon with Billy Cain, and there is a dude playing guitar, and all the while that they're staring each other down preparing for the shootout, the musician just keeps playing. And then as the shootout happens, he kind of like pauses, and then like he just picks up playing again. I'm like, it was like so nonchalant, you know, a typical Western thing, but it was very cool, and it was just like so suspenseful. So very, very cool use of music in the movie, and a lot of muted colors, a lot of you know, like grays, and it kind of had like, it kind of gave the film like a dirty feel. It was a lot of grays and browns and stuff, but you know, really interesting color palette, and really dramatic use of music in it. What we have on Bandidos, we have a new audio commentary by author and critic Kat Ellinger, A Man in the Saloon, a new video interview with assistant director Luigi Pirelli. They Call Him Simon, a new video interview with actor Gino Barbacane. Western Bandits, a new video interview with film historian Fabio Milelli, and alternate end title sequence and image gallery. So, you know, again, very cool features on here. This is pretty much like the comprehensive set as far as special features. And then the final movie in the set is And God Said to Cain. This is starring Klaus Kinski. It's directed by Antonio Margheriti, and it's a 1970 release. It is so very interesting. It had like a, you know, given the title, it's not overly biblical, but there are some elements to it. So that was interesting how they incorporated that. It opens with these guys on a chain gang. They're in like a forced labor type of deal, and they're digging and they find a rattlesnake. And this one guy says, "Oh, hey Gary, there's a way out. Like, oh, you can commit suicide by rattlesnake." And he's like, "Oh, I'm not done yet." A couple minutes later, these guys ride up and they're like, "Gary Hamilton?" And they basically tell him that he is being pardoned by the president. So he's no longer a prisoner. After 10 years, he's free. So when Greg gets out of prison, he is on a stagecoach into town, and he overhears this guy in the coach talking about his father And this kid is the son of the local owner of the mine. So, you know, he perks up and he says, "Hey kid, you know, tell your dad," I say kid, but he's like, you know, in his 20s. And he says, "Oh, tell your dad that I'm gonna meet him tonight at sundown." And he's like, "Oh, who are you?" The next scene is Greg getting armed. He gets himself a rifle, and then as we cut to the kid telling his dad the message, the dad like freaks all the way out, like not wanting the kid to know, not wanting the kid to know what's going on. He just, you know, everyone in the scene reacts like, "Uh-oh, that guy's out," you know. So we know that it's a big deal. We know that there's some sort of past tension there. We later hear that Gary explained the whole background between his father and the kid, and this lady's like, "Well, why did you tell him? You know, he's just, you know, he's one of them." And Gary Hamilton says, "Oh, you're a mother. You should know that kids shouldn't be held responsible for the mistakes of their parents." I'm just like, it gives you a side to this Gary character where you know he's not like a bad guy. So, you know, there's that kind of like bringing him back down to earth. He's not like some just like, you know, murderous villain. The film is very dark. It's supposed to take place during like a tornado that never actually happened. There's like a very windy scene in one spot, but there's a lot of night scenes that are very dark. The one scene that was like most memorable for me, there was a part where I think it was also in a saloon, but there was a scene where a guy was getting killed. He was getting shot, and as he's falling, he's like grabbing onto this organ, and the organ's playing these really dramatic tones. And it wasn't like, you know, it wasn't like contrived. Like it seemed very natural how this guy fell, but as he's falling, he's creating the suspense music, like setting the tone. So that was really creative. There's a lot of really creative uses of music in this, and it was just an interesting movie. The special features on here and God Said to Cain, we have, there is a new audio commentary by author and critic Howard Hughes. There is Between Gothic and Western, a new documentary featuring a new video interview with film historian Fabio Milelli, again, and a new audio interview with actress Marcella Michelangeli. And then finally, Of Night and Wind, a new video interview with actor Antonio Cantafora. So once you watch all of these, then you can dig into the special features, and then you can read the book. And then once you do that, then I think you're a certified expert on post Dollars trilogy spaghetti westerns. I think that's how it works. This was so much fun to just like really dig into these and listen to the special features. There are hours and hours and hours of content in this set. And as far as Arrow sets go, I think this might be my favorite. Yeah, it's really, there's so much great content on it. So there you go, 4 great vengeance Western flicks to dig into, and amazing commentaries, amazing interviews on these. So a huge, huge thanks to Arrow Video for sending this to me for review. This is phenomenal. If you are a fan of Westerns, you absolutely need this. Really cool they took a sampling of 4 different directors, you know, different leads in these movies. So I thought that the choices that they have are really, really good picks. And they all have a very different tone, you know, they're not like one-dimensional whatsoever. So you get a really good sampling of the spaghetti western genre with this set, so really awesome. And many thanks to you for checking out this video. I have maybe some pickups in the future, but definitely some reviews. So come back next week, see what we have, and we'll talk then. Later.